All right, I'm here with Dicki Korb. Dicki, thanks for joining me.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you as well. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Dicki Korb. I'm from Germany, Nuremberg. I'm a trainer, a coach since 16 years now. So it all starts with Alex Megos, and since 16 years, together with Patrick Madros, I'm his coach and trainer. And so I have education as a trainer, as I have the German licenses, and I have I'm educated as a functional trainer. I'm a social worker. This is my other job. But okay, this time I'm mainly coaching. But now I'm 55 years old. I'm climbing since 37 years.
Wow. Yeah.
37 years. Yeah, a lot of climbing by myself in my time. And we are working, or we have a close relationship with Adidas. So for Adidas, we are the center of excellence together with Volker Schöffel, Patrick Madros, and me. We are the center of excellence when it comes to training and injuries and rehab. So this is, we had some, or we have some projects together to make some, let's say, some new stuff with athletes, like some smaller camps where we go to the athletes, that not all the athletes had come to Germany. We do some workshops around the world when possible. And I'm married. I have 2 children. They are.
Do they climb at all?
My son is motivated in bouldering. Nice. But not from the beginning. So the first years they were like, oh no, they grown up at the rocks, and so they I think at one point they said no climbing for
me. Too
much, exactly. But now he's back. My daughter is climbing a bit. Yeah, they are 18 or almost 19 and 20 years old. So yeah, they are on their way, let's say.
Yeah, and you also, I mean, you have a few books out, you have a lot of content. I mean, you train people locally, at the gym, as well as I know you're expanding that as well, to remote. But just a lot of content, I think, available.
Yeah, we had we start with this Gimme Kraft book.
Yeah, I think
the green one. Yes, exactly.
The original.
Exactly. And it comes together with when Alex on-sited this 9A, the book came out, and it's like, and everything fits together. And then people ask, okay, can you help me? I think it starts with Sasha Di Julian. She was the first athlete.
She came to travel over to Cafe.
Travel over. Okay, it was with she come to the headquarters, because the headquarters of Adidas is really close.
Oh,
so
okay,
yeah. Headquarters is, let's say, 20 minutes from Cafe Kraft, the gym where we mostly do.
And this is Adidas World Headquarters, right? Is this? Yeah.
It's like it's a very, very big the Herzog base called. This is the Adidas headquarters, and then she came there for some business stuff, and then they said, maybe you can try to train a bit with these guys. And then she came, and then they make some videos. And I think this was kind of the start that some professional climbers are going to other trainers to get some input and a new idea.
A broaden perspective.
I think this was kind of the start of something like this, that people say, okay, I have here my trainer. Or in the past it was more like training was, I think it was people saying, I know how to train, but I don't want to talk about it. Yeah,
100%. And they had their own camps, like each, you know, kind of pro had their like 1 to 2 people.
Exactly.
And if it didn't work, they'd switch to another, but it'd be within the same kind of circle.
And Patrick and me, we saw that training, it's not a secret. Yeah, it only can grow and grows when people work together, when trainers work with other trainers, when they talk about the ideas. And it's not that we have the best ideas or these guys have best ideas. I think all of this together make the puzzle complete, and we can learn and we can go on and new ideas. And it's not that one of us said, I know the secret of training, I know exactly. It's a learning. And I think this is it was a start, and then it comes up with some symposiums, trainer symposiums, and people are talking and sharing ideas, and and this is it's going on and on. And it's important, I think, for the athletes, they get more and more professional. And it's compared to gymnastics or something like that, it's a very, very young sport. And the experience of training, it's so, we are trying to figure out what's best. And in terms of these Olympic combined stuff, we were all like, okay, boom, now you have to train for this. And everyone, what? Now we have to
speed climbing.
Speed climbing. Okay, just a moment. Where is the speed wall? We have no speed wall.
We have to build one.
It's just a 2-hour drive. Then we have the first speed wall in our surrounding here. So let's say, okay, we have to change everything and how to train for this. For this special way, like you have all 3 disciplines, bam, bam, bam. In a row, you have to go. You have to
in
go
the Olympic format.
The Olympic format, and you have to perform in all 3 of them. And it's like we have from one year to the next, we have to create new athletes or a new sport, because it's in the past everybody trained on a 45-degree wall. You can train there for outdoor hard bouldering, outdoor lead climbing, lead competition, and boulder competitions. And now it's like, you need a special wall for this. You need
it's so specific
space for this parkour style bouldering. You need these gyms, which offering the space for it. Usually they want to make money. They need a lot of boulders, and now you have 4 volumes, which needs 20
massive amount of in between.
And it's all new, and also for us. And we have to, and everybody tried. Okay, maybe this is the good way, or maybe this is the way. And and now everything changed again for the next
the next cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Paris is another format, and then you have LA.
Yep, where I am.
Good place to be, but and so new, you can say, okay, I go for bouldering, I go for lead, I go for speed. So this, now you have it changed.
And it's interesting because like now it's like exploding into all these subcomponents, and you have to kind of train and combine together. But if we rewind kind of like, how long ago was it when Sasha came over? That was maybe like, how many years ago was that?
I think
she was 18 at that time.
It was 40. I think it was in the year of when the book, I think 2014.
I'll look at I think around that time.
15.
So let's say 2015. So I mean, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, we're looking at like 7-8 years ago. Things have completely changed from then, but it's like, and you have like what you're doing at, Cafe Craft, it's continued. I mean, I watched your content, I'm, in touch. It's like, it's continued to evolve and change, but it's a period of like, what's new now? Like, what have you done different, like with your athletes and training in the past 7 years? Because things, as we know, the sport has just like exploded.
I think we what especially changed is that we we try to do exercises more efficient, and we try to bring this complex training. Yeah, what is very important from our side is like climbing is a very complex sport. Yeah, you know it, and of course, and so yeah, this is a complex sport. So train complex as possible. Yeah, if you can do, or if you can reach more different muscles or muscle slings with one exercise, then only this, let's say, this training where you only have one direction of the muscle.
Yeah, like that's like, one. Yeah, like let's say just you take a resistance band and you're just like pushing it outwards, or you want to get better at lock-offs, you're doing like a bicep curl.
Exactly. Yeah, genau. Like when you go to the weightlifting gym and you do some exercises, and then the guys they're working there came and say, oh, this is wrong. You just have to do this. And I said, interesting, but maybe we are on a different approach.
Yeah, and that's what your approach is like.
Pump up the muscle, and we want to use them.
Yeah, so kind of explain, what I mean. Obviously, isolating out a single plane of motion and a single muscle, that's not. I mean, maybe at some component you do that, but that's not like what climbing is, and that's not like these compound movements. So, what are some of your go-to exercises, or ones? Maybe first from a training perspective that you're like, this kind of hits everything, that a climber, would kind of need and utilize to make their body more resilient. Are there any of your, even personally, any of your go-to exercises?
Yeah, just a second. I show you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have something here. I really love these loops, these small loops. Yeah. And when you stretch your arms out, yeah, and then you pull like this, yeah, you bring it in this position, and in the same moment, your shoulders, yeah, your scapula is going in a stable position, yeah, when you do this, and you hold this position, and then you work in this position. So for example, when you do some pull-ups in this ring, on the rings, nice. I love the rings. We really love the rings. So it's good because they are moving, and you have all these proprioceptive muscles, and I really love it. But when you try to hold this position like shoulder width, and then you go up and you do this on the rings, now you do pull-ups. Your scapula is not moving anymore from this stable position. It stands there, yeah, and you can work and you train the muscles without going in this position and do all these strange things where you can get injured. And this is something I really love. I do some rowings in the rings when you're lying on your back. I think it's exercise. There's exercises in the book as well.
It's in the also the ACT book.
ACT too. Yeah, exactly. There it is. And then you do this exercise, and it's such a big difference when you try this. When I figured out this exercise, I was like, "Wow, that's so cool, and and it works so good." You stand up and you feel immediately, okay, it works. Just always hold the position, and do exercises, and you really feel good, and it's so efficient. I really love something doing with this, and it's just a little help. Yeah, you need this, or you can go with a TheraBand and you like tie a knot and do this. But
it's hard. It's really hard to do, right? To keep that tension.
This is when you start with a softer one, just to get familiar with it, and then you do different exercises like wall slides or so. It feels so good for your scapula, and it trains way more muscles, compared to you do it just without it.
Everything kind of one time.
boom, and you feel like, oh my gosh, it works. And yeah, this is something which I think we worked out in the last time, and it's yeah, it's a good exercise.
I love that. And that's like, maybe I'm thinking in maybe like physical therapy, someone has a weak shoulder blade rotator cuff, they give like a resistance band in one plane. Yeah. This is then the functional climbing specific way to like combine that all.
Yeah, exactly. This is, we always had this problem, or it's not problem, this physiotherapy, is like
boring.
This. Yeah, it's boring. And we are in climbing, we have to go a bit more around, and it's like, and so important. Yeah, these you turn your shoulder and this back, you have to 3 dimensions in climbing now. Yeah, that it's not only pulling down is back in the days, and now it's jumping around, and it's like all these. And we have to, when it comes to warm up or to train, we have to get our joints used to this. Yeah. And what I always recommend is when you warm up or when you train, do many exercises with the full range of motion, especially for the shoulders. Yeah. The shoulder joints. When you warm up like this, or you do something like rope skipping. Yeah. Yep. Rope skipping. This is like ding, 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 ding. It's okay, but it's nothing. Yeah. Full range of motion exercises. Go around with your arm how far you can. Yeah. And this is the most injuries are because you warm up like this, and then you make a move like, and then or your foot slips. Yeah. You're in this open position, foot slips. Zack, and so it's always good, warm it up in a proper way, and to go in all
like every direction, every plane of
direction, and like full range of motion. And I think it's very important from my point of view.
And what about for the lower body? I mean, we have a lot of attention that goes into the upper body, whether it's an isolated exercise or a functional. And obviously the majority of injuries are in the upper body, although that's kind of changing. Like there's more and more like knee injuries and rolled ankles, especially
hip injuries.
Yeah. Oh, so you're seeing like hip as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I talked to Volker, and Volker said, more and more the hip joints are coming in game, let's say like this, because all these crazy movements, like this,
like even like high drop knees,
drop knees, and for sure you have to. I think it's kind of the same from my point of view, like full range of motion in the hip, like you do some exercises for your hips. For your knee is the joint which needs more stability, but I think it's the drop knee situation. You should practice this also, like you go in this positions, and you give your knee the information that something comes, or it's possible that something comes up, which is it goes in that way. And if you do the exercises, the lower body, in the past it was for sure a climber don't need the lower body. What is the lower body? Lower body, have you in the
just
past
campus everything?
Exactly. And in the past, have you seen a campus board with some ranks for the feet? No. Only footless. And then you start with some footholds below the ranks, and you can also do some exercise there. But up to this point, it's like, please don't train your legs.
Well, it's interesting. But now it's changing. But you would bring up the drop knee, because I've struggled. I see an injured population. They come in, they like have this injury, but I also see a population at a high level, and they're trying to perform, and maybe they have a series of movements on a problem where they're going to be doing a lot, and I'm trying to like injury proof them for this. And the drop knee is one of the harder things I find to try and find exercises to make more resilient, the climber. Do you have any tips, tricks, or ways that you kind of hit the lower body in all directions? Because that's definitely been a challenge of mine.
the challenge. I think this when you look at these ACT training and these exercises, which you can find for free for downloading. And there is one, it's called the fire hydrant, I guess.
Yep.
It breaks your foot. It's I cannot show it to you now.
You're like on hand. You're on hand. Is it the one hands and knees?
Exactly. And then you bring your leg up like this, very high foot, yeah, and concentrate on full range of motion, opening the hip in this direction. But then you also go to this direction. It's like it looks a bit like a pissing dog, yeah, but but it's good to remind it when you see this picture. But when your hip is or your foot is in this upper position, then you move it outside and then you bring your knee low. So it's like
it's like hinges or leverages.
Exactly. And then I think this is a very good exercise, for example, to train the hips and the knees.
Yeah, so it's almost like a fire hydrant. You're in like a hands and knees position. You go into that like dog peeing, and then you drop your knee down just a little bit as you bring your foot up to get that kind of like rotation drop.
It's the rotation, exactly. And this is it's kind of the same with the shoulder when you are doing something like this. Yeah, you open it fully, and so you do this with the hips as well.
And then what about, so I'll see a lot, climber will come in, they'll have some knee discomfort, and maybe this is from doing not a drop knee, but maybe they're doing like high stepping and they're just like rocking up on that leg, and it's kind of causing a little bit of compression in that area. And I can take them through early stages of rehab, get them to the sports specific component, and then come up with a few things. But do you have any ideas, any things that you do in training that in the later stages will help with kind of like either a high step or high step rock up, kind of for a climber?
For example, these box jumps, when you're from in the position you're standing in front of a box, and then you try to jump on this box, and you try to jump with your feet. It's not that you bend your knees too much. You try to go from this, let's say, bouncing position, like you just bounce with your with the calf, not the calf,
the ankle,
exactly. Yep. The ankle, the calf is okay.
Yeah, so you're kind of like, it's almost like you would do like a jump rope type.
Exactly. And then when it comes to higher boxes, you have to go down with your knees, and you have to, and this is, I think it's good it's a good exercise, because you start easy, with the ankle, and then you come up with the knees, and then it's like it's not that you start with a boom, with a big jump. You start slow and then you go higher and higher and higher. And so this is that you train it in a way, like not only give it all and you start with a boom, a high foot, and then and you work on it. And so I think it's good.
Yeah, and it's interesting because that never used to enter my mind, maybe like 7-8 years ago working with climbers. The ballistic component, the dynamic component, climbing's like changed, evolved, and that also helps, like even with shorter climbers, their ability to generate, that force upwards.
Like hell. It's so crazy how it changed, like this, from this like a robot climbing, you lock down everything, and now it's like jumping around and flying, and it's crazy, but also more and more dangerous, for sure. This is and this is what we are. We try since years to have something like a control instance or something like this, which is for the boulder competitions, that there is someone, it's not I don't want to say that it's a fault of the route setters or something like this, because they are in there, nice. But I think it's very important that there is also someone after the route setting is looking from the perspective of, is it dangerous? Is it good or not? Is this a good mix of the boulders? But I think now they start with something like this, that they also talking about that, because yeah, look, the last years, the injuries, more and more injuries, and especially the shoulders. It's, yeah, in the World Championship 2019 or 18 in Innsbruck, I saw the female final was I think 3 girls with tape on the shoulders and problems. So like Nico and Yanya also, everybody has problems with, because it's getting more and more strange. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the challenges, I mean, it's also a spectator sport, bouldering. It's one of the most visually dynamic, and you're drawing that fine line between something that's going to look phenomenal, something the athlete can perform, and then, like you mentioned, the injury risk component of you do that enough times, or you try it even once, and it may leave you susceptible.
Exactly. And it's hard to prepare the athletes for this when you don't know what's coming up. You can you go to a competition and it's all good, and the next competition is okay. You have I don't know, 3 boulders with crazy moves, and so
a lot of variability.
I think there is, if you have something like where people can more orientated on, like okay, I know, this boulder and this boulder and this boulder, I have to train slabs. It's getting better and better, but it's sometimes it looks like crazy.
And I think also
Olympic Games, when you see the Olympic Games where the girls finals in boulder looks like, okay, I think for us as professionals, it's hard to see them struggling on these boulder problems, but for the crowd, it's like, okay,
it's exciting.
Is this their sport, or are they have to do another sport or something like this?
And for me, like physiotherapy perspective, I'm like a couple of the different routes, I'm like, all right, we shall see, because it's part of it's their individual body makeup of like what resources they have available to solve some of those challenging body positions. And some climbers, they're going to have to find other beta just because their bodies can't get them into that position.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
What about the fingers? How would you train? Yeah, you're working with an athlete, you're training them exactly. How can you train? I get it. There's lots of hangboard programs. You can, figure out every possible way to load sets, reps, repeaters, max gains, etc. with the hangboard. Are there any like interesting different ways that you kind of make finger training more and more specific towards climbing? Or when you train that, is it like, no, you just have to get them strong, just do the sets, do the reps, get them through? What's your kind of philosophy and take with the fingers?
My philosophy with the finger training is that you should do it not the whole year and not all the time. From my point of view, is I recommend finger training like in sets of 4 or 6 weeks, and this 2 or 3 times a year.
Oh, interesting. So this would be like a lower volume.
It's I'm sure that other people are thinking different, but this is something from my experience. And the idea of this is that you when you climb, you always train your deep finger flexors. Always. You go to the wall, you train them, and it's really fast that you get on a plateau with this training. When you do these programs, in the beginning it's getting, it's rising, like, woo, super nice, but then it's like it's going like this,
and it's like very incremental.
Exactly. And then you train on, you climb, and I think the deep finger flexors, they are getting strong really fast. Yeah, but at the end, it's a question. It's a problem of your joints and your pulleys and all these other things which have to adapt to this. Yeah, you see these people with these forearms, yeah, so very big forearms, and they started climbing, and their fingers, they don't know what's coming up. Yeah, like the pulleys, because when you pull too hard, yeah, it's like you have this. I see this very often because it's so easy to do this finger training. You just put the board at home. Yeah, this is the first thing you get when you become a climber. Yes, fingerboard. And if I have to do a one-arm pull-up, okay, but you put it there, then you have an app. Boom, the program starts. Yeah. And then you start to train. Then you have the COVID situation. You cannot go out. You train at home and you train like hell on these fingerboards. And let's say a lot of climbers have problems with the pulleys and the joints on the fingers because they train too much and too, how to say?
Like
aggressive, yeah, and with a lot of load, because they think I'm not getting better. Maybe I put some weights on, and then I think, okay, train climbing wise.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Let's say 80% of your training, yeah, like 70 to 80% of the training should be, because then you train everything, yeah, because it's the complex way. And this isolated training, like, okay, just on the fingerboard, yeah, and on the fingerboard you train your flexors, you hang like this, and I've never seen someone climbing a route in this way.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly like both hands overhead. Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
Maybe a rest break on a jug.
Exactly. But it's too, no, it's not active enough from my point of view. Yeah. And then people, yeah, and it's hard to switch from this two-hand training, because two hands are, most of them training two arms, yeah, together. But you have to come to train one arm, because in climbing, when you do a pull-up, for example, and you are here, and when you're not able to do this, you just can talk to the next hole or whatever, but it's not you need this and this power. And I saw many people doing pull-ups like hell, yeah, and but when it comes to training, they are not familiar with this, to move your body to the side and to do this lock off, and also with the fingerboard, try to do some movement and not only this static training. This is just a very, very small part. And yeah, for sure, the deep finger flexors are very important muscles for climbing. But when you think about, you can train someone, yeah, who is not a climber, yeah, you give him a fingerboard and you give him a finger program, and he starts to train, yeah, then he can hang on small edges like hell, and then you bring him to the wall, there's no way to climb, because he doesn't know how to move your body. And this is the thing, I think this is the complex part, which I always recommend. Okay, train complex. And when there is a lack of finger strength, or it's very obvious, or you have to come up after an injury and to use this very, very careful, then I say yes. But yeah, like I said, like 4 or 6 weeks, and this one, or let's say 2 or 3 times a year. And then, and nowadays it's that a lot of people, they're warming up on the boards. You have all these boards which you can bring to the rock.
Portable,
yeah, these portable things. The day before yesterday, I came to the cliff and I saw 4 boards are hanging on the first bolts of the roof. Oh, times are changing. Everywhere the boards, but it's okay. In this case, it makes sense.
Yeah, because it's controlled
Depending on
warming up.
exactly, because when you climb one or two easy routes in Margalev, yeah, you lose a lot of skin, and and so you can warm up, and therefore it's perfect. And that's also what Alex is doing, huh? It's kind of a warm up, always hanging on the board, and but let's say the serious finger training, I don't mean just hanging around or do some pull-ups and it's okay, you can do this, but like where you have a proper program to train the fingers. Be careful, and let the rest of your body also come up.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense because, I mean, you climb training your fingers, you climb year round, and then now we're adding like heavy loads in training itself, and it's better to cycle that. And you make a good point for rehab. Yeah, it completely makes sense to rehab. You have an injury, it's a very controlled environment. You're hanging, you're going through the process, like go through that, or you're warming up. You need to get, a progressive load to your fingers, but maybe climbers are overusing or overtraining hangboarding.
Yeah, sometimes for sure. But what I want to say is that I see it's a big problem with the campus board. Yeah, the campus board is that it's forbidden for children. It's there's
like it's gotten a bad rap. Like it's
but the point is that it's forbidden, and they say no, you don't have, and then it's forbidden. Okay, as a child you want to try this, and you see all the people, but when you don't know how to use it, you do some crazy things, and then you get injured. But when you bring also younger climbers to the campus board and give them some exercises where they can do controlled movements using their feet, when you have some footholds below, like you can do perfect exercises. I do this very often, and I stand beside and I see exactly. You don't have to put on the smallest ranks. Just go a bit bigger and do controlled stuff. So why? And I don't understand this, that people say no campusing, and then you see them on 8A boulders with crimps like hell, and nobody's saying nothing. Like, oh yeah, that's okay, but go to the campus board and do some exercises on jugs. For me it's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, and it makes a ton of sense because the campus board, I can say, especially, kind of, let's say the rehab community, that's kind of something where you're like, oh, that's a more fearful component because that's a dynamic.
Yeah.
But in a controlled environment, that's probably as functional and as sport specific as you get to train the fingers. And it sounds like, as you mentioned, like when you use it correctly with training, even sometimes maybe with some feet on, like that may be even more functional, training the whole body compared to hangboarding.
Absolutely. And you have these diagonal muscle slings when you use your feet on it. Yeah, you can do like this control lock off stuff. Yeah, like using your feet, and then you have a perfect training. Yeah, and but when the children, I talked a lot to other trainers and stuff, which say, oh no, it's not good. I say, yeah. What is good in climbing when you not know how to use it? A boulder wall, 45-degree wall, a moon board, a tension or whatever board. It's like you have to know how to use it, and then it's like with a knife. When you don't know how to chop some onions, you cut your finger, but you cannot say no. It's forbidden for children to cut some or to chop some food, some fruits. No. Use it in
what?
No, use it in a good way, or in a safe way. Yeah, it's like with everything, and the sport is growing, and more facilities and possibilities, and people are psyched. But I think it's good when they know how to train So let's say in total, it's very important to not too much, because people think when I train 8 days or 8 hours a day, that's good. And so to say, ooh, your body also need to rest, but rest, when you use this word with an R, it's like, oh, rest. Oh no, they don't want to hear this. And it's part of the training. Your body is not that your body is doing nothing in these days. Yeah, he's recovering, and the small injuries are healing and stuff. And but to find a balance is always a challenge in training.
Yeah. And it's been a tough finding a balance, I think. I mean, right now, as we're recording this, is during the pandemic, and there's been different swings of people trying to figure out balance in their own climbing and own training. And I think how people train has changed. How I work as a physical therapist has changed. More and more remote patients, more and more people that I'm seeing, trying to figure out in-person remote. Has your kind of coaching changed at all? Are you still seeing everyone in person, at the facility, or has that been something that has changed as well?
Yeah. There is something, it has something changed, let's say. Like we offer now, beside the professional coachings, which we are doing since all these years, where we meet the athletes in person or the climbers. Now we are offering this online coachings. We worked out a program which works. We struggled a bit with this, don't see the athlete in person, and how can we do this? And now we are working with video analysis, where people or the athletes, they do videos of them doing exercises, and then we come back to the second session. We split it in 2 sessions. Mm-hmm. First we try to explain the stuff they should do, and then they film, and then we talk about what they can change, and we analyze it.
Is this like exercises or climbing, or a combination of the two?
Both.
Okay, yeah.
Both.
And they take their iPhone and film doing the different components.
And it's so easy now. It's so easy. You just put the iPhone in the back, and then you do an exercise or a test. All the tests, we do some mobility tests. Yeah, exactly. And they film it, and then we give them some recommendations for training, for whatever they want. Like some just want to talk about their training and want informations, and the other this coaching stuff which we are doing is, at the end, what we always want is when we are finished with this, that the people have an idea, how to train, what is the good way. We are not going in direction of we have these strict plans. Yeah,
it's not like here is this PDF of the plan.
No. And I know it because I work with many athletes. Yeah, and we wrote many training plans. And at the end, it's always the problem is they start with the program. Yeah. Then they have to stop at one point because they are tired, they are sick, they are whatever. And then, okay, where should I start again?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Where? So we say, okay, you have two maximum strength days per week, and now you have to skip one of it. Yeah. So should you go on with another one, or should you do it next week? And all these questions. And now it's more like it has to be flexible, this plan, like listen to your body. I'm tired today. When you are tired, and you feel, oh, my muscles are sore, and but on the plan is, okay, full maximum campus boarding, for example. And I say, no, not today. I do something different. But you need a plan which fits to this to the time that we are living. Times are really fast. Yeah. So everything changed from one day to the next. Oh, I have a meeting. No, we skip the meeting. We do it tomorrow. Oh, my plan. So But now say, okay, you should have 2 sessions of endurance, 2 sessions of mobility, and blah blah. But then you can
like interchange or mix them, or
exactly.
yeah.
And when you feel bad, you rest for 2 or 3 days. Okay, it doesn't matter. And this is what people, it's not easy to bring it to the people. They always love to have a paper
Like
or whatever and say, okay, today I have to do this, I have to do this, this, this. But go more in this way, like when they ask, okay, how many repetitions? Is 10 or 12? Is it hypertrophy or what is it? We kind of say, yeah, let's try. How many? What try?
Yeah, see how many you can do, and how many
number. I need a
people.
number.
It's
It's
so funny.
hard.
I get the same thing. So yeah.
I say, okay, let's try this for 1 minute. How many repetitions can you do in 1 minute? People, they want to have these strict plans, but I think change this a bit, and it makes it way easier. And most of the professional athletes are training in this way.
Yeah, 100%. I think we can all speak to that. Like, there's a lot of adaptability. If they're not training like that, they're likely having some injuries.
Exactly. And this is something, we worked out something like that in for athletes, which we can do in an online training. And it's I really like it, because it's also, like you said, with the COVID situation, the pandemic stuff, and also with the it's not so easy to fly around now, environment, and it's the times are changing, and I think it's good when people not come just for a coaching from the US to Germany and then fly back and say, oh, I don't feel very good with this. And so it's better, and it works.
And it's pretty interesting. Like, I don't know kind of your perspective, because you're mentioning you're doing different mobility assessments like via remote. You can accomplish a lot, like watching how people move through just watching all these exercises. And I sometimes think it's even more powerful because they have those videos now. And like, if you point something out on the video, like that's like ingrained in their head. So I don't know how your perspective has been with some of the assessment components. But were you surprised like how much you could see with that, or did you always know like, oh no, this is the same thing as, I don't think the same thing as in person, but this could potentially be another avenue to train patients compared to in person?
It's another way. It's I think it's getting more and more in direction of this personal meeting when you're face to face, and there is a lot of potential, because like exactly what you said, with the video, they have a video of it, and they always, you can, I give you, or I set some points on it, and then they always see it again. They can take it out and then they can make another video, and then they compare each other, like, okay, this was in the past and now I'm here, and something changed, and they see it, and I really I like this. And also that the meeting is not, or the coaching is not that we are sitting for 4 hours face to face, so there is a bit time in between, so, and things are setting down, and like, okay, think about it, and then come up with new questions, with some new ideas. And this is, there is potential.
And it's definitely, there's drawbacks as well. It's harder for certain things, but it seems like the potential, like, I'm psyched on it because I can review footage. I like wake up in the morning, I'm like in bed reviewing footage, right? And then maybe meet with them later. And it's just different. I think maybe just different.
It's different. And like I said, in the past was like, I don't think it works. I don't think it works because I need this in person. It's different, but it works. And when you, I'm pretty happy with this, because it was a good experience. We were very skeptic about it, and but now we figure out, and people like it, and They use it, and they can come back maybe sometimes just for an hour, yeah, with some questions. And then you don't have to drive, you don't have to fly, you're just sitting face to face like we, and talking about some questions. I did this exercise, but now I think maybe I can change it, and I can show them how to change it very quickly. Like, you don't need to travel, booking hotel, and bam, it's just okay. Meeting 1 hour face to face per video, and this is maybe it's like a bit of a positive effect of the pandemic, like especially these meetings in total, where we have it's like Patrick is calling. I counted out. Maybe
put him on. Yeah.
No, not yet. Yeah, this is something which is also it's good for the environment.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it almost accelerated what was likely going to happen in maybe 5-10 years. It kind of accelerated the process.
Absolutely.
So if you look back on all these years you've been climbing yourself, coaching, and think about the athletes you've trained and yourself, is there any advice you can give, just a global piece of advice to kind of distill down to make athletes or climbers more resilient or help them prevent injuries? Is there any kind of thing that pops in your head as like an overarching idea or theme or something that's kind of stuck over that time? It's a tough question.
The top one is that most athletes I met came to me with the topic, Dicki, I'm too weak. I'm absolutely too weak. And then after half an hour, or I don't know, we figured out that they are not too weak. And in, let's say, 90%, it's not a question of strength. It's more, it's technique, or it's mobility. In many cases, it's mobility. Yeah, that the movements, they are too stiff because they train to not complex enough. Just doing pull-ups and do stuff. Think about it in another way. Not only how long can I hang on my fingers on a board. This is just a small part, or is a part of training, but there are many other things. And very often it's a question, or they have not enough ideas to move, or doing movements, and try always in one direction, and they are like this, and open everything, and try to play and not only pull down too hard. It's not good.
Yeah, that's sound advice. Well, Dicki, great conversation, great information. Where can people find you, and if they want to learn more, where can they kind of track you down?
People can find us under the email address coaches@craftfactory.de. This is we are working on a homepage, or we have a homepage, but it's not out. It's like under construction still. But if they write us a mail, and we contact them, and then we come together and find time appointments for some coachings, or just answering the questions they have about their training, and easy to find. coaches@craftfactory.de.